Welcome to Subatomic Workshop. Today I am making Mass Effect bookmarks for my wife and son. I started out by drawing out the size I wanted and then doubling that, since these will be folded in half and then cut out. I then folded them lengthwise using a ruler to get a crisp edge in the cardstock that I'm using. And I printed out quotes and pictures I wanted to use and transferred them using graphite paper. Here I have a quote that I printed and put in mirrored and on the inside of the folded bookmark. I then traced over the letters to transfer the letters to the bookmark from the printed page. I then went ahead and started cutting out the letters on the bookmark. These two steps were very tedious and time consuming, and they weren't coming out the way that I wanted. And you'll be able to see that here in a minute. I took a still to show. So I went ahead and gave up on this one for now and moved on to another bookmark. I'm still going to do the quote, just using a different method. So this bookmark is of the mass relay, and while it had some tedious cuts as well, most were straight and I was able to use a ruler to assist in the cuts. I then started gluing on pieces of colored cardstock to represent lights and windows, starting with the smallest pieces to the largest to fit in the holes I cut and then glued it shut. It was looking a little bland, so I used a marker to color in the background black to look like space with small areas left white to look like objects in space. I didn't have any colored markers, or I would have thrown in other colors as well. This bookmark is pretty thick as it has a few layers of cardstock in it. And here's my second attempt with the quote. This time it's a single layer of white with a thinner strip of red to be the Mass Effect stripe. I didn't have any black, or I would have used that for a layer. This time I put it on the front, traced it with the graphite paper, and traced that with a fine tip Sharpie. The Sharpie wanted to bleed a little, but it turned out okay. Tracing is definitely harder than it seems. And this is the third bookmark. It is a Paragon bookmark. I started to attach the template from the back the same way I'd done it before, but realized because the picture was gray and not black, it was too hard to see a trace, so I attached it to the front and traced it and cut it out. And I wanted there to be a little contrast, so I outlined it with a silver Sharpie and then attached it to a darker shade of blue behind it to show through the area I cut out. And the fourth and final bookmark I have is a Renegade bookmark, same as the Paragon, other than using red paper and black Sharpie to outline the symbol with. I was planning on just covering them with Mod Podge as the finish. I did the quote and the relay bookmark in the Mod Podge, but didn't like how they were turning out. They were starting to curl, so I went ahead and laminated all of them. They are a bit thick and I ran them through twice, but there might still be some air around them. I can see little bubbles, so I left the laminate a little long on all four sides, and if they work out okay as is, I'll leave them. If they get in the way too much, I will trim it down. If the laminate falls, I'll try it again, or if it fails, the laminate. So they turned out okay, not great, so hopefully next time I'll make them, they'll get better. If you have any comments or suggestions on what I can do better, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.